everyone. Welcome. I'm Rasika Inamdar, and I'm a PgMP and PMP mentor with EduHubSpot. Welcome to this special success story session where we celebrate the journey of professionals who have achieved a remarkable milestone in their careers by earning the PgMP certification. Becoming a program management professional is no small feat. It requires dedication, strategic thinking, and a deep understanding of program management principles. Today, we have with us John Rizzuto, who has successfully cleared the PGMP and is here to share his inspiring journey with us. So, let's dive in. John, congratulations on this incredible achievement. Can you start by telling us a little bit about yourself and what motivated you to pursue PGMP? Yes.
Thank you, Rasika. And thank you to EduHubSpot for giving me the opportunity. So I've recently retired from the United States Army after a little over 20 years of service. And during that time, I held multiple positions in leadership, notably in project and program management functions. But during that 20 plus year career, I didn't have the credentials from the Project Management Institute. And as I transitioned out of the Army, I really wanted to gain those credentials. So that is why I pursued my project management certification and program management certification through EduHubSpot. And well, it's been an amazing journey.
Thanks, John, for that input. And to know a little bit more about your journey, right? How did you prepare for PGMP exam? Can you share with us the study plan which you followed and what were the resources which best helped you to prepare?
So really every step of the way, Rasika, you and the team behind the scenes at EduHubSpot were instrumental, providing me a study plan, structure, and I think that was really the key. It's the structure that you provided with getting to know and understand the standards for program management, the edition that we were working on at the time. Um, Preparing myself for the quizzes, the multiple quizzes that you had designed in your structured program, and then really learning from those quizzes was instrumental. And then kind of the center part of it all was the boot camp in which you instructed myself and several other candidates on program management principles. And then after that, it was up to us to continue our studies. And you laid out a clear and concise syllabus, which I was able to follow as a working professional, as a father of three, and as a husband. So really the structure and knowing that every step of the way, you and your team were behind me anytime I had a question was instrumental.
Thanks, John, for that. And you were also truly instrumental by following the process. Following the process helped you, right? So that's also good. Keeping up with the motivation, definitely that's up to you. With the busy work life, with family, it's difficult. And this is a challenging exam to clear. So hats off to you for this. What were your biggest challenges you faced while preparing, and how did you overcome them, John? Sorry.
Thank you. So, I think one of the biggest challenges I faced was self-doubt during the process. I felt very confident going into boot camp, and I felt like I understood the material. But then when I went off and did some self-studying for the remaining portion of my time as a student, there were definitely moments taking the practice tests from EDU HubSpot that I didn't do as well as I thought I should. And I wasn't consistently scoring over, I think at the time, 70%. And I just doubted that I was ready to take the exam. And I remember communicating with you, Rasika, and um, you know, I identified some of the areas that I wasn't too too sure on. Uh, your advice was, "You're doing just fine. Just go back, reread the material." Um, The tests on EduHubSpot are an important gauge, but based on my interaction with you and knowledge of the material, you believed that I was ready to take the exam. So I really needed that. I needed you to kind of give me a push to get that exam booked, just like I needed Varun to give me the push when I was taking my project management certification as well. Without you and or Varun at the time, I probably would continue to study those two pieces and maybe not have been as successful as I was. So thank you for believing in me.
Thank you, John. Thank you for saying that and acknowledging our inputs to your studies as well. So, great, John. That was a very good input. What are the biggest challenges you faced, and great how you've overcome them. We just want to know how was your experience on the day of the exam? Can you share how did you feel on the exam day? How was the overall experience of the exam? Not just on the day, but even during the exam and after the exam. Yes.
Yeah. I'm going to compare my experience with the PGMP exam to the PMP exam. And the reason why I'm going to do that is because, well, first and foremost, I took both exams under the guidance of EDU HubSpot, and I think it's important to frame the question and answer here. So going into both exams, like I said, I doubted myself. I felt strong, but really needed the push from both of my mentors. Um, Regarding the PMP exam, going through it, I felt very as I was executing the exam. Maybe had less than a handful of questions that I flagged to go back, had plenty of time during that exam, and felt overall confident. Now contrast that with the PGMP exam. Although I felt like I was ready to take it, as I was executing the exam, there were times that, um, well, I didn't believe in myself. It could have been very easy to just give in and just select any answer to get through the test, but I believed in the process. I really did. I had quite a few questions I flagged during the time, and I went back to some of the techniques that I learned from you, Rasika, and Varun, was the world-class um, world-class kind of screening out the answers that don't make sense, going with my first gut instinct, and being confident in the process. Through the exam, the PGMP, there wasn't a prescribed break, unlike our PMP exam. So it's really a 4-hour exam on your own time, and if you needed a break, you at the testing center just raised your hand and they let you go, and you could take a break from a couple of seconds to as long as you want. I think I took probably a little less than 10 minutes. Got up, walked around, drank some water, came back. That was at the halfway part. I remember that was one of the test taking strategies, is really to clear your mind and about the halfway part. But then about 3/4 through the test, I really started to feel tired and was losing concentration. But I soldiered on. Um, I had quite a few questions that I flagged, went back to, and if I wasn't completely sure that the initial answer that I put down when I flagged it was incorrect, I just left it, because that was my first instinct as I was going through the test. And throughout the process, from EDU HubSpot, I remember, some of the best test taking techniques was, to really go with your first instinct. So, long story short, the exam for the PGMP I thought was mentally exhausting. There was no time for a break. I had just enough time to finish the exam. Um, but as I went through and trusted the process, I was overjoyed with the results.
That's so good, John. We were also glad for you. So it's a tough exam, but not impossible. So it's quite possible. So thanks, John. Thanks for sharing that very important inputs about the exam and your experience throughout the exam. Now the question, right? You've cleared it. It's how has it changed your, the career path, or how has it impacted? What are the immediate benefits you've seen post giving the exam? Any major observations there?
Yeah, so I think now, especially working for in the industry that I work for, with the United States Department of Defense, it gives me that credential to highlight that I am an expert, as recognized by industry in program management, and then right before that in project management. That credential that a lot of my peers don't have. So it provides me with just an extra level of gravitas when providing recommendations and you know, conversations that I have with stakeholders on the right way or a way to guide a program through its life cycle.
Great. So that's you're putting the learnings into practice, and that's great, right? Great.
Absolutely, yes.
Thanks, John, for sharing that. What would be the top three tips you would like to share with the PGMP aspirants?
Yeah. So know that unlike my experience with other PMI um, vendors that train you up for PMP and PGMP, and I do have experience in that. I would say EDU HubSpot is there through the entire process, not just there for the boot camp. Um, it starts with a journey before the boot camp, with putting your packet together for some of the pre-checks, the audits, and the panel um, quality control efforts with the PGMP. And Rasika, you did an amazing job with providing your insights and templates on best practices on how to structure my experience, something that I believe was lacking in one of the other programs that I did earlier in my professional career. I would
Right.
also say another one was not just having EDU HubSpot U, Rasika, but having the entire cadre of EDU HubSpot behind you. There is a whole library on YouTube of refreshment videos, refresher courses that are led by other instructors that could help you through the process. Those are things like practice mock exams, best practices, mindset type you know um, mindset videos to get you prepared to take the exam, something that I really didn't see in any other industry partners. That'd be number two. And then number three would be the course material. The course material that you guys have is second to none. From the library of um, videos that you offer to the boot camp that you record and that you make available for the aspirants to review. I believe was those three things were very instrumental in me plotting my success through the process.
Thank you, John. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
Um, it's great that EduHubSpot could help you and take you through this journey and support you in that way. So thanks, and we are glad to know that we were instrumental in this journey of yours. So thank you for that, John. Any final words of encouragement or inspiration for future candidates who are looking forward or are a little skeptical about why to do PGMP?
Yeah, I would say believe in yourself. If you have the desire to do it, you're going to be just fine. If not with EDU HubSpot, make sure you do your research. I did my research before joining the EDU HubSpot team, and
Mhm.
consistently the recommendations were that EDU HubSpot one of the, if not the top premier PMI trainers in the industry. So knowing that you're going to sign up with a reputable organization, one that has a tested track record, and then one that's really all over multimedia, showing how successful they have been with the library of examples that they offer for free, and the testimonials from people like me. I would say it was money well spent, and I am incredibly grateful that one day I decided to take a walk with my dog and have a conversation with ChatGPT, and ChatGPT recommended EDU HubSpot. So I'm grateful for that.
Thank you, John. Thank you so much for saying that. You've been grateful, and thank you for your kind words and encouragement too. So, what an incredible journey, John. Your story is truly inspiring, and you completed PGMP in just a matter of 90 days. That's truly really inspiring and proves that with the right mindset, preparation, and dedication, achieving PGMP certification is absolutely possible. It's not impossible. For those of you watching, if you're considering the PGMP certification, take this as your sign to start. Invest in your growth, connect with the right mentors, and trust the process, just like John did. So, once again, a huge congratulations to you, John. Thank you for
Thank you.
sharing your journey with us and wishing you continued success in your program management career. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep leading. Thanks again, John. Thanks a lot. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Rasika.